What is best in life? To crush your enemies, see them driven before you, and to hear the lamentation of their women.
All right. What is it? Friday night already? It's the Friday night live stream. It's Radio Baloney Live. I'm your host, Richie Baloney. Hey, looks like we got some people in the chat already. Good to see you guys. We got Radio Streamer. We got Izzy B. We got Cobra. We got Radio Streamer. We got Rosie. We got the ventilator. Whoa. It's filling up fast. How you guys doing? Radio Streamer says he got the first like. You know what that means? That's double good karma. Izzy B thinks he got the first like. That's double. You know what? You don't have to fight about it. You both get double karma. Radio Blown is generous. Cobra got the third like. You know what? Cobra gets double good karma too. I'm a generous host. Let's see. How you doing, Rosie? Good to see you. Ventilator, hit the like on your way in. Let's go. Radio Baloney. All right. All right. Ventilator says, hi, y'all. We won, baby. Absolutely. My God, have you ever seen anything so beautiful? I haven't. It's astonishing. All right, let me have a bit of that rant juice. All right, everybody. I hope everybody's had a great week. What a crazy week, huh? Unbelievable. I'm still in shock that Trump won. I'm 100. Cobra says, what's up, Richie? I'm feeling good. I'm actually feeling kind of tired. It's been a busy week. A crazy, like an emotional roller coaster week. I still can't really quite believe it happened. You know, I was saying back when, when the assassination attempt in Butler happened, and just the way that happened, and the miracle of him turning his head right at the right moment, and then you have the footage of the fight of the picture, that iconic photograph. I just thought, I said then, you guys remember, I said, this just feels like providence. This just feels like fate. This feels like he's just been chosen, and there's only one way this can end, and that's with him as president. And I was still worried about him, and I'm still worried about his health, because now they're putting out stories about another Iranian plot. I'm not buying this for 1 second. I think that there's plots against him, but I don't think it's from Iran. That doesn't make any sense at all. I know they killed Soleimani, but that Trump did. He bombed him, but Iran knows their leadership is not insane. They know that if they were ever tied to the assassination of a president, former presidents-elect, they're done. They're all dead. Their government is over. The whole thing's it's just a total reset in their country, and it won't include them. That doesn't make any damn sense to me. I mean, they're not idiots. It feels very convenient because there's been a war drums going on to invade Iran remember John McCain? Bum, 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 Iran. Remember that? It all just feels like just frankly, a total setup and manipulation. But anyway, my point was that it felt like providence. It felt like there was just an invisible hand guiding this. And now that it's actually happened, I still am kind of in shock that it happened. And the way that it happened so conclusively, and it was so clean. You know, it was just too big. Too big. They talked about beating the cheat. Well, they did. Let's see. What are you guys saying? Congrats to you too. Let's see. Radio Sherman says he won't be handing out cars. That's Radio Baloney. But with that extra karma, yours may not break down. Well, that's the point of the good karma, right? It happens. It hits you just right when you need it. In these troubled times, how could anybody turn their nose up at that? At the good karma, free good karma? Come on. Ventilator says Kerry Lake going to win also. Now, I have not looked deeply into that, but what I keep seeing is that there's all kinds of hijinks happening in Arizona, which has been happening there for a while. So we'll just have to see. All right. So maybe one more time. Oh, you know what? There's one button I want to press on my Stream Deck here, because the last state that we didn't have a chance to call was Arizona for Trump. And we pressed the button, the state, or Trump won the state button for everything else, but our last stream was Wednesday. They hadn't called Arizona yet. But now they've called Arizona. So we get one last push of the button, one last call in a state for Trump. I know it's a few days late, a couple days late, but one last time. Are you guys ready? Are you ready for this, the glory of this, the nirvana of this thing you're about to experience? This is an experience. The button I'm going to press is going to throw you into a whole different universe of joy and I guess ecstasy, joy and ecstasy. All right, here we go. So now we're officially calling Arizona a couple of days late for Trump. I think Trump the Barbarian with his dinosaur summoning lightning. Trump the Barbarian, God King, is my favorite Trump, I think. Favorite of all of them. Let's see. Hey, Rosie is now a monthly supporter. Well, thank you, Rosie. Thank you very much. You're the first one, actually. Thank you. And now I've got to think of stuff to put out for these supporters. Well, for you. I've got to come up with more stuff now because I guess it's supposed to be like extras. So I don't know. Let me know if there's anything you can think of, and I'll have to start doing that. If I can get supporters, I got to give you guys something. Or maybe you guys just want to be nice. I don't know. That would be good because I wouldn't have to do anything, which would be great. Oh, man. Thank you, Rosie. That's awesome. Thank you very much. First supporter for the channel. It's awesome. And as a reward, everybody now gets an ad read. This sponsorship is from Rumble, one that is incredibly important to the survival of the company. When Rumble first started in 2013, they built the platform for the small creator, like me. They didn't censor or have biases. They were fair and treated all creators equally. No one thought platforms would censor political conversation or censor opinions on COVID. What? But they did. Facebook admitted they fell to pressure from the Biden and Harris administration, and we're only just learning just how evil they actually are now. So they were evil all the way back then. Rumble did not. They held the line. They are attacked daily for giving us a voice to talk to you. They are attacked in corporate media. They are attacked by governments like France, also Brazil. They are attacked from brand advertisers who refuse to work with them. Goddamn commies. What are they, capitalists or commies? Can they make up their minds? Corporate America is fighting to remove speech. Rumble is fighting to keep it. Rumble won't survive with brand advertisers because of wokeness. They don't get much of it. Watching our show on Rumble is the most they can ask from you. If you really believe in this fight, and if you have the means, one major way you can help Rumble, and also just fight wokeness and communist, one major way you can help Rumble survive is by joining Rumble Premium. Join the community that believes in the First Amendment and believes in our human right to free speech. It's the most important one. Rumble is offering $10 off with the promo code STUDIO. When you purchase an annual subscription, go to rumble.com/premium. That's rumble.com/premium and use promo code STUDIO. Like I said, if you have the means and believe in the cause, now is the time to join Rumble Premium. If you don't have the means, we're just happy if you watch us on Rumble. There we go. Izzy's giving me a good review. Good ad read, he says. Thank you very much. That one felt good. It felt good. I'm feeling really tired today, but the rant juice is waking me up, and I don't know. Rosie says, go Rumble. Good ad read. Glad to have free speech. Rosie says 9.6 out of 10. That's pretty good. Can't complain about that. Nevada says Rumble rocks. Great ad. Rumble is great. Rosie says, Radio Baloney was my first follower on X. Fantastic. Oh, I've got some of the stuff you sent, because Rosie sends me stuff on X that she thinks might be interesting for the Radio Balonians. So we got a few of your things coming up, Rosie. Let's see. But it might be a little while in the future. We got a ton of news to get to. Radio Streamer says, Rumble, better than my screaming on the rooftop about commie hate. Kind of goes over better with the neighbors, too, although I think not being fully dressed was most of the problem. You got to at least put on a robe. All right. Radio Streamer says needs more commie hate. I'll try. Just keep reminding me. I mean, it's not that I don't feel the commie hate. I do. It's just, there's so much to deal with. What are we going to talk about tonight? Let's go through the menu while everybody else finds the channel. First off, this is unbelievable. It's actually not unbelievable, though. And we'll get to why. FEMA official ordered relief workers to skip houses with Trump signs. Yeah, it's, the sad thing is, it's actually not shocking. It's actually not shocking, and we'll get into why it's not shocking. Trump has massive plans. We're going to look at these videos. These are, there's a 3-minute one, there's a 6-minute here. He's talking about what he's going to do, and let me tell you, it's a big deal. It's a very big deal. I think it's stuff that puts his life in danger, just to put it frankly. It's already in danger enough. I get very nervous when I hear about these Iranian plots, which don't make any sense. They're putting something out there, would get, two birds with one stone, invade Iran, and also get rid of the threat, the existential threat to the deep state. Makes me very nervous. But when you hear this stuff, you'll see why. You'll see why everybody should be nervous. So we'll get into that. We're going to look at, what's this one? Yeah, so talking about the federal task force that will target the giant human trafficking networks controlled by the Democrat UN system. So that's a big deal. He's like gonna come out of the gate running. Like he's not gonna waste time this time. He knows he's only got so much time to do it. He could lose the Congress or the Senate in 2 years. He's gonna get moving fast. These are college students. I think Rosie sent this to me, actually. These are college students here that are like into Trump. It's weird. Apparently, there's loads and loads of videos like this. Things seem to be changing. Here's Biden talking about Trump winning the election, and I think he actually looks quite happy because I think he hated Kamala for knifing him in the back. Hers was the last knife that went in, and it was the biggest knife. Let's see. So here's Michael Schellenberger talking about how Democrats don't understand what happened. They can't. They're not capable of. They've been parasitized by the woke mind virus that won't let them think rationally anymore. What have we got here? So Trump derangement. We got loads of this. We could be on this one for a while. Jesus. It's always, come on. Got the Trump derangement. And yeah, I mean, are you surprised? Let's back up. Are you surprised? Okay. Here's some Trump derangement. Are you surprised? Are you surprised? Are you surprised? Here's a guy who was very confident in a Harris win. That didn't go so well. We got tons and tons with The View. We've got all kinds of just goofy dingbats. Totally goofy dingbats. Look, I mean, they're always the same.
How can you talk if you haven't got a brain?
I don't know. But some people without brains do an awful lot of talking, don't they?
They sure do, Scarecrow. They sure do. Lots of... It's so delicious, right? It's so delicious. The tears are so delicious. That delicious salt, the fresh salt. Oh, it's nice. Have some of that on my fries. Let's see. Dingbats, dingbats. I mean, you get the point. Dingbats, dingbats. She is completely insane. This Rachel Maddow, she's a complete nutbar. Wait till you hear this. Dingbats, dingbats, dingbat. Look at this. Look at this. What's going on here? Kathy Griffin has meltdown over Trump and Vance. We'll have to look at this. Jesus. No matter how bad she thinks Trump Vance is going to be, there's no way it could be worse than her face. Boom. I need the that little drum thing for after for one of my jokes. I need to get that sound effect. All right, what else we got here? So, yeah, more election stuff. We're going to talk about here's Mark Mitchell from Rasmussen Reports, where some insider stuff. You know what? You know the score. You know where we're going to be going with all this. Kamala Harris. We'll deal with her a little bit. You know what's so interesting? Did you guys know there was a squirrel that ran across the stage before she went out? A squirrel. Maybe it was related to Peanut. I don't know, but I mean, it's like there's signs or something, right? Like the whole Trump assassination thing. He turned his hand. It's weird. I feel like it's all Providence. Let's see. Elon Musk, worth showing this again. You can see the mind virus spread rapidly like a physical virus. So these are some charts here on different words that have been used in the media. And all of a sudden, you notice right at a certain time, it's right around where Trump came out, actually, they just go through the roof. This is the program. This is the narrative control. This is when the narrative control really went into top gear. Okay, so you guys, so the United States has been saved for the time being. Canada, we've still got goddamn Trudeau. So it's a dystopia in Canada for at least another, I guess, like 11 months until we can get rid of this just utter disgraceful globalist dingbat. Justin Trudeau. RCMP to create fake online personas, accounts to target Canadian extremists. Yeah, and it's going to be those scary right-wing extremists that don't actually really exist in Canada. There's lots of extremists you can see in Canada. They're protesting. There are mobs of them on Canadian streets in Vancouver and Montreal and Toronto every night, pretty much, burning Canadian flags and screaming about killing this group and that group. They're not going to get targeted, I don't think, because of, you know why? Because of equity. Because of equity, they won't. This will be to try and, why will the RCMP be creating fake online personas? To try and catfish, to try and entrap, probably mentally unwell people. So one guy off in northern Saskatchewan somewhere, so that then they can get the CBC to run a big expose on extremism in Canada. Got to get rid of this goofball. Got to get rid of him. Scientific American editor issues screen against America for electing Trump. Scientific American. So there are words that don't have the same meaning anymore. Expert's one of them. Science seems to have a different meaning than it used to. There seems to be something called sciencism that we see in the media all the time, but that's not actually science, right? That's basically politically motivated narrative. Scientific American is their editor is just a partisan political actor, woke, ideological, Scientific American has been taken over by the woke mind virus, and it is now no longer what it was originally designed for. Its purpose is no longer its original purpose. Its purpose now is to spread the mind virus to more minds, to vulnerable minds. We'll take a look at that. It's just unbelievable. Look at this impact of weight stigma on health from Scientific American, November 8th, 2024. Thanks, Scientific American. Thanks for telling us that health. Thanks for letting us know about healthy at any size. Let's see. What do we got here? Oh, yeah, we got some stuff on Scientific American there. Pure Polyev. We'll take a look at that. What else we got? We got some Trudeau being a goofball, a dingbat, a goofball. Here's actually Trudeau talking about, here's Trump talking about Trudeau back in 2022. Doesn't like him, and he's right to not like him. Then we've got just tons of stuff that I've curated. It's going to take forever to get through all of this. We'll be doing this for hours and hours and hours. Here's a little taste of various things that we're going to see. Look at this. CTV news. Canadian news, I think, is actually even worse than American news. This is taxpayer funded. This is subsidized by the federal government, CTV news. Her wife died and she went on a cruise. Then she met a fellow passenger who changed her life forever. What do you guys think? Do you think this is heartwarming? How is this news? Well, we'll take a look at it. We'll find out. We'll find out why they think that's news. Goofballs, dingbats. We got Joe Rogan there. We got memes. We got The View. We got all kinds of stuff. Of course, we will have, back to the top, of course, we will have the muses. The Radio Baloney Live muses. Look at her. She's great on offense. Of course, always we have Sandwich Girl and Noodle Girl as well. We have Grok versus Trudeau. If you've never been to the channel before, you don't know that every Friday I get Grok, Twitter, that's the Twitter AI, formerly Twitter AI, Grok to write a poem about Justin Trudeau. There must be three things in it, three details in this. Justin Trudeau must do blackface, he must get a vaginoplasty, and he must also be loaded into a giant cannon and launched into the sun. We've got a fun one here. I'm doing these every Friday until Justin Trudeau is no longer in power. I don't know how many of these I've done so far. It feels like hundreds. Probably is. But I got to keep doing it until he's no longer in power. It's really getting hard. And this one here, I think you're going to enjoy it because it's about Justin Trudeau using $1 billion of taxpayer funds to star in and produce a movie called George Floyd, the Movie, Trans Edition, with Trudeau starring as George Floyd. So, as I said, blackface, vaginoplasty. What else we got? And then, of course, we have the puppy palate cleanser. You know, this guy was so popular from the last time. Is he angry? Is he happy? Who knows? But adorable. So when we need a palate cleanser from the news, we'll take a look at this fellow or one of our muses. Anyway, let me take a quick look at the chat, and then we'll get into the news. All right. Oh man, you guys are busy in the chat. Hey J-Ham, how you doing? Says, great to tune into your channel again after the win. Channels of all sizes, including this one, help make a difference. I like to think I made some small difference. Even if it's just an atom's worth of a difference, I'm happy I did that. And I hope to make some difference in the next election in Canada. But we are Legion, and that's our power. All the small channels. We are Legion. Let's see. And Nevada says, I don't trust Arizona. No. Why? Why would you? I mean, it's been pretty corrupt. But they might be, you know, election officials there might be a little bit scared because, you know, Trump has put out the word. His people have put out the word. If you're messing around with the election at all, you are going to prison with any election. So who knows? Rosie says, I don't trust Arizona either. Cannot stand waiting to hear about Carrie Lake. I know. She really got screwed last time, right? So I'm really hoping that doesn't happen this time. Rosie says, I hit the like button and my car has not broken down all week. Well, that's the power of Radio Baloney Live and the good karma that it offers. You got the applause. All right. Let's see. Nevada says that's criminal of FEMA, 100%. Nevada says no such thing as too much commie hate. I really don't think there is. Commie hate, I think is healthy for you. Let's see. Ventilator says that's why North Carolina was ignored. Yeah. Media told us all, oh, that was just conspiracy theories, right? Sure it was. Let's see. Rosie says, I read there was an official communication to avoid helping houses in Florida that had Trump signs. Yes, that's what we're going to get into in a second. Rosie's saying, okay, everybody, you got to get a monthly subscription now. It is very embarrassing to stand out with colorful posts and be the only one. Please subscribe now. I can't remember what I said. Is it like $2 or something? I can't remember now. I did it a long time ago and then nobody joined. So I just forgot about it. Maybe this is the start of something good. Let's see. Nevada says that lady needs to hear from the sergeant. Which lady? There's so many of them. We'll get to it. Remind me later when we get there. Radio Streamer says, if I wasn't so poor, I would. Yeah, you guys don't have to feel obligated to do that, honestly. Let's see. Candle Monkey, how you doing? Says they have no idea what the Dems would have done to the country. 100% true. You have to understand, most of the people that we'll see in the, the leftist tiers, the Kamala Harris supporter tiers, the salt mines that we're going to descend down into this evening, most of those people are completely parasitized by the woke mind virus. They are essentially zombies at this point. They can't think rationally. The mind virus has taken over their brains, right? They only exist now to propagate more of the woke mind virus to new vulnerable minds. That's their only purpose. They can't, if it seems like they can't be reached, if there's anybody you know, it just seems like they can't be reached. They're totally resistant. They're not interested in any evidence. You can say, they talk about the bloodbath thing. You can say, look, here's this video. You can get it out for him. Say, look, just watch it. It's like, it's just like 10 seconds. Just watch. You can see he's talking about the auto industry. They will not do it. It's because they have no free will anymore. I'm not joking, right? They've turned into woke zombies. They exist now to propagate, to spread the mind virus, for the mind virus to prosper and multiply and spread to other vulnerable minds. Not every mind is vulnerable to it, obviously. But those that are, there's some of us that just have a natural immunity. Some people don't. There was a time there for a little bit where it felt like it was like the stand. It was like 0.001% of the population is immune to the woke mind virus. Turns out it was a lot more. Let's see. Cobra's back. Had to sign out for a second. Going to listen to you talk about commie hate and meltdowns on my drive home. Very well. I'm very glad that we can help you out that way with the commie hate and the salt mining. All right. Streamer says there is science and then the science, which means bullshit. Well, sciencism. Sciencism is where there's a narrative that the machine, the legacy media machine, big tech, the machine, all the aspects of it, the Democrat Party, the institutions, there's a narrative that they want to promote, and then they get people on. Of course, they pre-screen everybody. Every expert, right, gets pre-screened. What are you going to say? This is what we want you to say. And they bring them on and they say it. And they ignore every dissenter, every scientist. Doesn't matter. Could be a Nobel Prize winner. Not getting on if they don't have the right opinion. That's sciencism. And that's corruption. Raider Streamer says, anytime I hear the science on TV, I know it means shut up and listen to us educated people, you common plebeian filth. Yes. And if you ask them, what's a woman? They're going to speak a bunch of gibberish because they're so educated. Yeah, there's this meme going around. I don't know if I have it coming up here somewhere, but about how, the 5 most educated states are all blue, and then the 5 least educated states are all red. And they think that this makes them superior, right? This is the typical smugness, right? And sense of superiority. And I take a look at it and I go, okay, yeah, all these people have been through the indoctrination mill. They've all been indoctrinated and propagandized, and they just simply weren't strong-minded enough to resist it. Their minds were vulnerable to the woke mind virus. And how many of those people, how many of their educations consisted of critical studies, critical race or gender or whatever, critical this or that, gender studies? How much of that education is represented by totally bogus, made up, fraudulent disciplines? A lot. A lot. Let's see. I mean, unfortunately, wokeness has made most of them most of them illegitimate now. Like psychology has completely gone down the toilet. That's just a propaganda. That's just propaganda now too. Just totally irrational, unscientific gibberish at this point. And on this note, we'll take a look at Scientific American and how that's gone down the toilet. That's just become sciencism now. Scientific American is now just turned into it's just another vehicle. It's an institution that's been taken over. It's been removed from its original purpose and turned into just simply an organization, simply a method or an opportunity to propagate the woke mind virus to more weak-minded, smooth-brained people. And they will be very smug about it once they are infected. Jayham says, only one thing would make this win better. Trump naming Noodle Girl to his cabinet. Hell yeah. I want her in the cabinet. Yeah, I think that'd be grand. Let's see. Rosie says $5 a month. Oh boy. Maybe I got to lower it. I don't know. Thanks, Rosie. That's awesome. Thank you very much. I got to think of, you got to think of stuff for me to put up there. I got to put up unique stuff there that, you don't get unless you're part of a membership. So I don't know. Candle Monkey says, commies seem to be the kind of people that think their lack of success is due to other people doing well. 100%. Yeah. It's always somebody else's fault. They see everything as a zero-sum game, right? Where in order for one person to gain something, the other person loses something. That they see that with everything. They never see anything as a positive sum game. Like your pipe bursts, you call a plumber over, the plumber fixes it, you pay the plumber. Sane people see that as a positive sum game. The commies don't. Everybody's oppressed and either oppressed or oppressor in every single interaction. That's why they're such terrible people. All right. I think it's time we get to it. We're 36 minutes in. All right. So this is just unbelievable. It's unbelievable, but it's also not shocking it's shocking and it's not shocking. This is shocking, and it's not shocking, right? It should be shocking, but it's not. Exclusive. FEMA official ordered relief workers to skip houses with Trump signs. This is from the Daily Wire. This actually happened. Again, let me repeat that. FEMA official ordered relief workers to skip houses with Trump signs. Whistleblower said, quote, "It's almost unbelievable to think that somebody in the federal government would think that's okay." But is it though? Is it that unbelievable? Let's hear from Joe Biden.
Or Puerto Rico, where I'm in my home state of Delaware, they're good, decent, honorable people. The only garbage I see floating out there is his supporters. His demonization is seen as unconscionable, and it's un-American.
So
Or Puerto Rico.
So lies about the joke at the MSG rally and then calls Trump supporters garbage. So is it, and I mean, that's just the latest, right? That was just the latest. I mean, he's ultra mega, right? The Nazis, the fascists. I mean, you can't just call Trump a fascist leader and not and pretend like the implication is the people who support him aren't fascists, right? It's absurd. So, God damn it. There we go. So it's almost unbelievable to think that somebody in the federal government would think that's okay. No, it's not. It's not. I mean, the leadership comes from the top. It comes from Joe Biden. I don't find it at all unbelievable, to be honest. It's shocking when you first see it, and then you go, oh, yeah, actually, that does make sense. A federal disaster relief official ordered workers to bypass the homes of Donald Trump supporters as they surveyed damage caused by Hurricane Milton in Florida, according to internal correspondence obtained by the Daily Wire and confirmed by multiple federal employees. It's sad that it's not actually shocking. That once you get past the headline, you go, oh yeah, actually, it's not actually that surprising with everything you've heard from the administration. A FEMA supervisor told workers in a message to, quote, avoid homes advertising Trump as they canvassed Lake Placid, Florida, to identify residents who could qualify for federal aid. Internal messages viewed by the Daily Wire reveal. Let's see. Here we go. Implement best practices. Avoid homes advertising Trump. Absolutely insane. The supervisor, Marnie Washington, relayed this message both verbally and in a group chat used by the relief team. Multiple government employees told the Daily Wire. This actually wouldn't seem unfair to a DEI person, right? And let's not forget that FEMA is now ruled under Biden by equity principles, by DEI. Let's see. FEMA, Achieving Equitable Recovery, a post-disaster guide for local officials and leaders. Achieving Equitable Recovery. What does that mean? Equitable recovery. That means you don't just help the person in need in front of you. You've got to figure out, well, who's privileged, who's not. According to your preconceived notions of privilege and oppression, who actually should get the help first? It's not the person right in front of you, right? How you can't just assume that. You haven't done your equity checklist yet. You can't just automatically help people. That would be inequitable. That's how they actually think. Let's see. Hold on a second. This is FEMA. This is real. This is their own materials. Equity is the consistent and systematic, fair, just, and impartial treatment of all individuals, including individuals who belong to undeserved communities of color. Let me start from the beginning. Equity is the consistent and systematic, fair, just, and impartial treatment of all individuals, including individuals who belong to underserved communities of color. Persons who belong to communities that may face discrimination based on, here we go, sex, sexual orientation, and/or gender identity, including members of the lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and queer LGBTQ plus community, persons with disabilities, persons who may face discrimination based on their religion and/or national origin, persons with limited English proficiency, persons who live in rural areas that have been systemically denied a full opportunity to participate in aspects of economic, social, and civic life. That, my friends, is not just helping the first person you come across, just helping the people who need help. You need to figure all this shit out. And it sounds really like they just don't want to help straight white men and their families. That's really what this seems like. Equity is the consistent and systematic, fair, just, and impartial treatment. How can it be fair, just, and impartial if you're doling it out based on, immutable characteristics, gender identities, whatever, various identities, made up genders? It can't possibly be those things. Those are just words they throw in there. Or maybe they've redefined the words, but they're just words they throw in to make it sound nice and fair. I mean, just because you say something is fair, it doesn't mean that it is. It's certainly not impartial treatment of all individuals. No, it's picking essentially winners and losers. Is that a real vagina or a neo vagina? Because right now we're helping neo vaginas first. It's total and complete lunacy. But this is the kind of thinking, this is the kind of ideology that would lead an institution, an organization to start doing things, to put out things like avoid homes advertising Trump. Well, Trump is the anti-equity, right? He's the anti-woke. So they must be bad people. I mean, if you're going off equity, maybe you don't want to help those people. They're the fascists. It actually all flows very naturally. All those people, all those lunatics wishing death on people because of the way they voted, it all flows naturally from their insane ideology. The government employees told the Daily Wire that at least 20 homes with Trump signs or flags were skipped from the end of October and into November due to the guidance. I mean, it's shocking, but it's not shocking, meaning they were not given the opportunity to qualify for FEMA assistance. Images shared with the Daily Wire show that houses were skipped over by the workers who wrote in the government system messages such as Trump sign, no entry per leadership. Trump sign, no leadership, no entry. Here, what do we got here? Let's see. Not able to access property. Hold on. They got something else here. What's this? All right, hold on. Let's go back up. So they wrote in the government system messages such as Trump sign, no entry per leadership. So this shows a total lack of fear. Right now, they probably all assumed, because they've been watching MSNBC, that Harris was going to win in a landslide. A lot of Kamala supporters just didn't see it coming. They had no idea. They'd been brainwashed. They'd been brainwashed into only, MSNBC tells their viewers, also CNN, don't watch anybody else. Everybody else is lying. Everything else is misinformation, disinformation. Totally blindsided by reality when it hit. As I say, wokeness and far leftism, that just its argument just simply doesn't hold up when it's confronted by reality. Reality always has a better argument. But the brazenness of writing that Trump sign, no entry per leadership, not worried at all. Big mistake. It's brazen, is it not? It's unclear whether the same guidance was issued elsewhere in the country. The employees were part of a Department of Homeland Security surge capacity. The employees were part of a Department of Homeland Security surge capacity force team, meaning they volunteered from other DHS agencies to help an understaffed FEMA as it dealt with a second major hurricane in a span of just a few weeks. I expect we'll see stuff about North Carolina. Quote, I know they're short-staffed. I thought we could help and make a difference, one of the employees said. When we got there, we were told to discriminate against people. It's almost unbelievable to think that somebody in the federal government would think that's okay. Really? Really? Because let's go back here. They've got their equity. They're ruled by DEI and equity there. So in FEMA now. So discrimination is equity, right? Equity. You have to bring people up, bring people down. You have to deny people things, give people things to make them equal, to achieve equity. The whole thing is discrimination. It doesn't exist without discrimination. It's the whole point of it. No, regardless if they call it fair and just. It doesn't mean anything. Those words don't mean anything to them. They mean the opposite. It's almost unbelievable to think somebody in the federal government would think that's okay. But really? Really? What did Joe say again?
Or Puerto Rico, where I'm in my home state of Delaware, they're good, decent, honorable people. The only garbage I see floating out there is his supporters. His demonization is seen as unconscionable, and it's un-American. Or Puerto Rico, where
Is it so unbelievable? Is it so unbelievable? The employee said it felt wrong to discriminate against Trump supporters when they were at their most vulnerable. Why didn't you say something earlier? Why'd you wait till after the election? I volunteered to help disaster victims, not discriminate against them, the employee said. Quote, it didn't matter if people were black, white, Hispanic, for Trump, for Harris. Everyone deserves the same amount of help. Well, that's equality. That's not equity. In the equity world, right? So they've got the preconceived notions of oppressed, oppressor, of privilege, and they just automatically decide all black people are oppressed, all Hispanic people are oppressed, all gay people, blah, blah, blah. So they need to get more. We need to give them more to get that equity. We need to give less to some and more to others to create that equity so everybody ends up in the same place, just like Kamala Harris said on camera. Anyway, the guidance came as the Biden administration was criticized over its sluggish response to Hurricane Helene in rural areas across the country. In Roan Mountain, Tennessee, for example, locals told the Daily Wire it took nearly 2 weeks for FEMA to show up. The town is located in Carter County, which voted 81% for Trump on Tuesday. I think more is going to come out about all of this. I think the Trump administration is going to go after all of these people very hard. What else have we got here? From Ron DeSantis. So he commented on this. The blatant weaponization of government by partisan activists in the federal bureaucracy is yet another reason why the Biden-Harris administration is in its final days. At my direction, the Division of Emergency Management is launching an investigation into the federal government's targeted discrimination of Floridians who support Donald Trump. New leadership is on the way in D.C., and I'm optimistic that these partisan bureaucrats will be fired. You know what else I'm interested in? Remember how the DeSantis launched his own Florida investigation into the second suicide attempt, the Ukraine guy, the guy who was trying to recruit people for the Ukraine war. The federal government was blocking him, was preventing him from investigating that. They didn't want him to know. I thought that was kind of suspicious. Why wouldn't they cooperate? Seemed a bit strange to me. So given a free hand, there might be some, because it all seems weird. How did he know? How did he know Trump was going to be there? It was unscheduled, but he just happened to just pick the right day to go. The whole thing, obviously, in Butler, the first assassination attempt, totally insane, totally crazy. I'm really looking forward to hearing. Trump's going to want to know about this stuff, right? The people around Trump they're going to be digging for information because it all just seemed a little too weird, a little too convenient, a little too strange, right? Can't wait to hear about that. But in any case, let's continue. So, from North Carolina, this was from just 18 hours ago. This is horrific. They won't have clean drinking water until February. Everyone who lost their home is being denied aid by FEMA. Is this equity?
Today is November 7th, and I guess this is a little bit of a 40-day update. I'm currently walking along the riverbank here of Shenandoah Valley home, and it looks a whole lot like day one. There is so much garbage and so much debris. It seems like no matter how many people come, how many volunteers show up, which has been a ton, there's this feeling that it's almost impossible to ever have this normal again. There's so much trash and there's so much garbage and debris. I'm literally standing where there used to be no houses. And there's cars and houses piled up here everywhere. And this is just a small stretch. It's all over these rivers. I talked to a lot of business owners lately, good friends of mine, and all of them are getting denied, no matter if they have catastrophic insurance, flood insurance, everything's getting denied. So they've just kind of been on their own. Talking to a lot of our friends that were affected and lost their house to the storm.
There's going to be a lot of questions asked and that are going to need to be answered. I think there's going to be an enormous amount of information that comes out. A lot, stuff that a lot of people will be shocked by. Let's see. All right, let's continue. From Donald Trump Jr., this is outrageous, even for the Democrats in charge, and should be criminal. These people should be ousted from FEMA, government, and society. A full investigation is in order. FEMA official ordered relief workers to skip houses with Trump signs. How about this FEMA whistleblower? This is from a different, let's take a look here. James O'Keefe. Breaking. FEMA whistleblower goes public, reveals agencies focus on DEI initiatives over disaster response. Let's take a look. So that's what we're talking about here. Achieving equitable recovery from FEMA. Let's take a quick listen.
My name is Kelsey Goodman. I'm here to blow the whistle on FEMA. There are still people that are missing. Rivers that were existing before have now turned into lakes. There are still communities without power, without water, without access to cell phones or internet. You can go on the FEMA website. The number one goal of FEMA is to instill equity in emergency management. It's not to save lives. It's not to create stronger communities that will weather future disasters. It's to instill equity.
It almost feels like I'm being asked to give my opinion on equity to the state, and I am not comfortable at all doing that.
Right now, we ask that you do it. You tell us how you did it, and the guidance is the guidance until you get further instructions.
Tell us your exact title. One
thing about instituting equity, DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion is that you have to create a whole bureaucracy, an incredibly wasteful and counterproductive bureaucracy to make it work, because somebody's got to decide that person gets help, that person doesn't. That person's too white, they don't get help. That person is a whatever lesbian, trans lesbian, they get help right away. Somebody's got to figure all this out. That person's blind, so they get help, but somebody's got to figure all this out. So you've got to create just some ridiculous bureaucracy, which is incredibly wasteful in terms of resources, but also counterproductive, because obviously you can't just help people. You've got to decide who to help first. Equity is the most important thing. Helping people is not. First, you have to take care of the ideology. This is when I say that with the far leftists, why they're so damaging, why they ruin everything, or why the ideology ruins everything, is because they're not concerned with fitting their ideology into the world. They're concerned with fitting the world into their ideology. And guess what? The world don't fit in it. That's the problem. But they don't care. And they don't care about outcomes. It's just, is it equity or not? That's it. They don't care. More people die? Don't care. Did we do it equitably? Did they die equitably? That's good. Good. We succeeded. It sounds insane, but that's what's actually happening. They create these bureaucracies that this is one of the reasons why universities are so expensive now. It used to be 80% of expenditures from universities went to professors, 20% to administrators. Then the equity movement came in, the DEI, wokeness, all of it came in. And all of a sudden it went to 80% administrators and 20% professors because they need all of these people to figure out who's oppressed and who isn't, who deserves help or who doesn't, who's bad, who's good, who's inherently bad, who's inherently good. And that has to factor into every decision. It's totally insane to have that. It's something like FEMA, a disaster relief agency, but this is leftism for you. It makes no sense and they don't care. And when they get on TikTok and say they want you dead, I think that they mean it. All right, I think we'll move on from there. All right, so let's get into, actually, let's take a quick palate cleanser. Hold on, let's go to that nice dog. Look at him. Is he angry or is he happy? So hard to know. All right, so I think at this point, we're going to move on from YouTube. So we always start out streaming from both YouTube and Rumble, but about an hour in, we end up cutting off the YouTube and we just keep going on Rumble because it's just better that way, and censorship, all that kind of stuff. And, YouTube doesn't show my thumbnail to anybody anyway. So we always end up having like 100 times more people on Rumble anyway. But I appreciate everybody who's on YouTube. I appreciate it. I hope you'll come over to Rumble and watch over there. And we're going to continue on for hours and hours. It's going to be fun. And you can get to see, oh, hold on a second. You can see the noodle lady, the Trump noodle lady. She's very hypnotic. You can see the appeal, I'm sure. All right, please follow us over on Rumble. We'll see you over there. J-Ham, get over to Rumble. See you in a minute. I'm going to cut off YouTube right now. All right.